What's up, guys? Welcome back to Point Kentucky. My name is Hunter Mitchell. I'm joined again by Leah Edmond. How are you, Leah?
It's a great day to be a Wildcat, Hunter.
You said it on Wednesday. It's still true on Saturday. We're joined by Elise Getzinger and Raya Walker, two of Kentucky's 4 seniors this year. You all win another SEC championship. You guys are used to winning rings at this point. Yeah. You don't have anything else you can do except for win them, apparently. Elise, let's start with you. You obviously, both of you were integral members of that championship run that you all got in your freshman year. As you reflect back now in your Kentucky career, what's it mean to you to be able to win an SEC championship every single year you were in Kentucky?
I said it at the beginning of the year, it is something that feels incredibly normal to us, and I think we need to remind ourselves it's very much not normal. You don't see a lot of other schools, or really any other schools, winning 7 championships in a row in their conference, so I think realizing that each time it happens, it's going to feel more normal to us, but realizing how special it is in this moment right now.
Yes, right?
I think we have to thank the teams that came before us, coming in freshman year to that wonderful senior class. The expectations were already set for us, and we've just spent the last 4 years trying to hold that standard.
Speaking of y'all's freshman year, you started off the freshman year with the national championship. So what does it mean to have that part of your history, 4 SEC championships and a national championship? That's unheard of. Most teams are not doing that, and a special group that you all were able to win so many championships in just 4 years.
I'm just really glad that we have a senior class that knows what it takes to go that far. So I think having a team with a relatively younger players that are involved in the success of the team, I think it's really important that we as seniors tell them how much it takes to win that national championship and have that knowledge going into the postseason right now.
It's really nice having everyone on the team bought in just the same. No matter what our role is, we're always ready for that next opportunity, and we're always cheering for our teammates to do the best they can do.
Obviously, you guys started the season rough, 2-6, and non-conference 3-7 after those first 2 SEC games. As optimistic as Leah and I were at your all's talent, I don't think either of us saw 16-0 to finish the regular season to become outright champions, especially with how good the league is this year. What in the world happened after that last Tennessee match where you all went on this run? You all clearly believed that you had some talent. What did you all say in the locker room for that start to get you all on this roll?
I think we kind of were a little bit fed up after that preseason. We knew it was going to be hard. We had the hardest preseason schedule coming in, but I think we all wanted to do a little bit better than we had. So I think, especially after that Tennessee match, when we tried to think conference was the new start, and once it didn't go our way immediately, I think it was really easy to just sit down and be like, hey, something needs to change here. We need to be doing something differently in order to be successful. Withholding that expectation of we are a successful team in the SEC, and just sharing that with the newcomers and everybody is important to the success of winning. Right?
Yeah, I think it's also the league has changed so much in the last years. Every single year, we're not going to have the same exact. You can't just expect to win pretty much. And we got really tired of losing, and we just said to ourselves, we can't just walk into a gym and expect it to be handed to us. So kind of changing our mindsets there.
So y'all have the selection show tomorrow, and we're very, very sure that y'all will get it first because you got the automatic bid with the outright. So y'all are definitely in the tournament. What do you think you're doing well going into this? We have our opinion outside looking in, but from a team aspect, what do you think y'all are doing so well going into the tournament?
I think we have a really good mojo going right now, and everything's just keep doing the things that are working for us, not getting too panicked because we're going into tournament play, and just keep rolling with what we're doing.
I think over the last probably a month and a half, 2 months, we've had really good, consistent practices, consistent effort, consistent everything, communication within practices, and it's showing up in games. And I think as long as we continue that, even when it gets to high-pressure situations like postseason, I think that'll be crucial to success.
It's interesting because a lot of programs or a lot of fans will say before their team gets into the NCAA tournament, it's, well, we want one more loss so they remember what a loss feels like. You all haven't lost in a long time, and now a loss means the season is over. Obviously, you don't want a loss, and we didn't want a loss because you're looking for seed to improve. But how are you guys staying motivated to make sure? Because I'm sure after a while, winning almost becomes commonplace. How do you all make sure it doesn't ever become commonplace, especially as you go into a single elimination tournament?
I feel like we have a pretty recent memory still of this preseason and how frustrating it was to go back to back to back in some instances of losing, especially when we had moments of playing really, really good against high-level teams. So I think keeping those memories in and sort of taking the next week or so to forget more or less about this conference season and remember what that kind of felt like, because those are the level caliber teams who are going to be playing in the postseason.
Yeah, I think we love winning, obviously, hate losing, but a lot of the games we tend to focus on like how well we won, what we did right that we've been working on, like Mel said, and what areas we still need to work on. There's always something.
Just one more question.
Yeah.
Individually, as seniors, where do you see that you've seen the most growth from each other?
I think personally for me, fitting well into whatever role I'm given. I know like a lot of these players, they come in, they're probably like the best on their team, always have been in such a high level program, and you have to get used to like not getting all the playing time that you would expect, and learning how to still uplift your teammates even when you're not doing what you really want to do.
Yeah, I think defensively my blocking has gotten a lot better, so being a little bit more consistent in where I'm taking off and landing, but then also just getting more stops, getting more touches for the team in general.
We're going to let you all go so you can go celebrate, but one more question. As you all reflect back, you have, still, it's not, your career isn't over. Y'all got a big tournament, but as you reflect back on your Kentucky career, what do each of you want to be remembered for in the blue and white? Raya, we'll start with you.
I think,
Is it that ace against Texas?
oh my gosh, I've heard about that like 15 times today.
It's a big ace.
It was
That's
that
a big deal.
that one thing. Yeah, I don't know. Like Craig always says, at the end of the day, like we're not going to remember like our records or like every single game, every single win or loss, and it's just more about creating memories for me with my teammates. I think that's most important.
I want to be remembered for being a really good teammate. I think there's been a lot of ups and downs, like Raya said, in like terms of playing time over my 4 years, and so I think regardless of that, like being a great teammate is probably the most important thing, and so I want to be remembered for being someone who was the same no matter whether they were playing or not.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We will see you guys tomorrow for the selection show, and then next week for your all's first and second round, hopefully first and second round of the NCAA tournament. Thank you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys, me and Leah are going to talk a little bit more about that match against Florida. Let's scoot our chairs up. So we're currently in Rupp.
Hunter, I'm going to be honest, I'm struggling.
I know.
There's a minute and a half left in this Louisville game.
I know that you all know that there's a Louisville-Kentucky football game on right now, and they're playing it in Rupp, which is why it is so loud, and also why you see Leah glancing in the corner of her eye just at the screen. We'll do a quick recap. Cats get another sweep. I don't think either of us thought this week would be two sweeps. These are two top 20 teams, Arkansas and then Florida. Both great teams, both gonna make noise in that NCAA tournament. What did you like out of Kentucky today as they prepare to go into that SEC or into the NCAA tournament?
I like the consistency. Having two sweeps on two teams that were definitely intricate in Kentucky's SEC win and their championship, to get sweeps going into the tournament is a big thing. Them playing clean volleyball is such a huge thing. Yes, they were making errors, but not errors that were detrimental to the game.
Yeah.
They were able to stay locked in. Throughout the SEC and throughout non-conference, they really struggled with being able to finish in those third sets, letting teams come back. And we saw Florida do it a little bit, start to come back and get momentum. So to be able to see them kind of squash that, stop that before it got too late is really exciting to see. But I mean, they're just playing really complete volleyball from all aspects. And we saw, like we talked about in the Arkansas game, the middles weren't involved offensively in that game at all. And then today we saw a little bit more of a more diverse, balanced offense, including with the blocking as well. And so to know that they're playing like that going into the tournament, I don't know what team is stopping them, especially because they probably will host this next weekend. Who's stopping them on their home court, to be completely honest?
Right. Kentucky obviously is hoping to get as high a seed as possible. We mentioned it. We're going to break down how that tournament works a little bit tomorrow on Acing It. Once we get the region and see where Kentucky's going and who their possible path is to a Final Four. But you mentioned it, Kentucky's ability to play clean against a team like Florida that's big. Florida got a lot of blocks today, and we know that Kentucky early in the season struggled with big blocking teams. They couldn't find a way to get the ball down. Today, again, those outsides, using the hands well. Reagan and Aaron obviously led the team in kills. You're still getting that balance, which is what's so important as you go into that NCAA tournament. It's what we saw out of Raya and Elise's freshman team. It's why they won the tournament, why they won the championship that year, because their offense was so balanced, so diverse. So, you mentioned it, when you have an offense that's that balanced and has that many weapons, it's hard to stop that. And the only way usually you can is through serve receive, but The problem is Kentucky's passing the ball really well right now, and that's a good thing for Kentucky fans. So those are things that you're hoping will translate well as Kentucky prepares to go in that tournament. We saw some teams when you played where you all were great, that 18-0 conference season. You all were great in that SEC, but you played a Nebraska team that served you all so tough you couldn't get in system. This team seems to be one of the better passing teams that Craig has had because he's playing three liberos in the back row, because Brooklyn is such a good passer. So hopefully that's stuff that translates into that NCAA tournament. I do want to ask you about Ajani and Elise. They were a little bit more offensive today, but again, not as efficient as we've seen them. That's 2 games in a row now against big teams where they haven't been as involved. Is that a concern going into the tournament, or is that just something that Florida and Arkansas both kind of went in and so we got to find a way to stop that middle?
I don't think it's much of a concern considering that they played them twice. Now, if this was the first time that they were playing them and that was the only thing that happened, I'd be a little concerned. But since we've seen so much variability from the both of them, not too concerned. It also kind of deals with what you're getting. Reagan was given way too much court, in my opinion, that entire game. So sometimes it's easier to set the ball that you know is going to get a kill.
Right.
Now, the middles were up and open, but that also talks a lot about they're still getting respected. So they're not getting much of kills or attempts, but they're getting respected enough that Florida was leaving our block, the outsides, 1-on-9. And so sometimes that's only the middle's job. And it sucks that that kind of happens with them, that they might not get as much offensively, but their job is to pull the block first, offense second. So if they do that and they're able to open up the pins, I know both of them are the type of players that are like, hey, as long as we win and I can do my job,
right,
I'll find a way, because both of them are really good. I'm so sorry, we scored a touchdown! Listen, I just had to take my second.
She has
I
family
have
ties.
some stake into this game.
We'll
It's a minute and a half left. But just in general, they're really good at being able to play the role that they need to be played. Both of them are, so I'm not concerned if they're not in there offensively, because defensively they always make their work.
Well, we're going to let you guys go watch the end of this football game. It looks like Kentucky, knock on wood, might get out of there with a win. We'll see. The Cats get another win, another sweep over a top 20 team. Tomorrow will be the selection show. We'll do another podcast breaking down the region, how Kentucky does, how the post-game, how the tournament works. We'll do one tomorrow and kind of break all of that down for you guys. Thank you all for joining us. Cats go 17-1 in the SEC, 16-0 to finish the regular season on an absolute roll. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys again for joining us. Catch you guys next time.